Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Wednesday, July 27th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be taking a look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out. Talking about my core picks for today, it is a 5-game main slate overall on FanDuel today. So maybe one that you want to play a little bit less than you would on a typical slate, but not a bad slate altogether. And then going over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talking about my top GPP stacks for today. At the time of this recording, my article is not yet published, but once that is published, I'll leave a link to that down below in the comments. But with that being said, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. At the pitcher position, we had Mike Clevenger at $8,100. Got to 34 points yesterday. He was a hit. Ended up being the 4th overall pitcher on yesterday's slate. One of the better value pitchers on yesterday's slate overall. Unfortunately, he did not get the win since the bullpen did blow it. Otherwise, he would have been at 40 points, and I think I would have put him at the second pitcher overall in yesterday's slate. Then at third base, we went with Austin Riley at $4,200. Ended up with 21.7 points, so he was a hit yesterday. A lot of good third base options altogether, though, yesterday. And then at shortstop, we had Francisco Lindor at $3,600. Got to 15.4 points, so he was a hit. It was about that 4th or 5th shortstop option yesterday. A lot of good hitting options yesterday overall, though. And then in the outfield, we had Austin Slater at $2,500. Only ended up with 3 points, so I did give him a push yesterday. Not anybody that killed us, but not anybody that really helped us at all. And then last but not least, we had Ronald Acuna Jr. at $4,100. Ended up with 0 points, 0 for 5 on the day, and a miss. And this was a guy that had really good history versus Aaron Nola in the past, just did not end up working out yesterday. Unfortunately, the main line that I did play yesterday ended up with about 128 points. Cut line was kind of about 131, 132. If Ronald Acuna Jr. just does a little bit of something, cashed him pretty easy yesterday. So a little bit unfortunate there, but hoping to get right back on the winning train once again today. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my core picks for today. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position. I will say there are a lot of great pitching options today. We have Nathan Eovaldi going against Cleveland. We have Braxton Garrett going against the Cincinnati Reds. We have Kevin Gausman going against the St. Louis Cardinals that do not have Paul Goldschmidt or Nolan Arenado. So that's a pretty good option as well. And then Luis Castillo, that's been pitching very well, but he's at $10,600. A little bit more than I like to pay for him. And then obviously it looks like Max Scherzer is going to start today. When I was doing my research last night, it looked like David Peterson was going to be the starter for the Mets, but it is Max Scherzer today, but it's a tough matchup against the New York Yankees. With all that being said, I went with Nathan Eovaldi. He was the cheapest of all those options that I did mention. I think he's not going to be super chalky since the last 2 starts have not been the best for him, but goes against the Cleveland Guardians today. Should be a pretty favorable matchup for him. He's got pretty decent history versus their hitters in his career as well. Averaged about 29 fantasy points per game on the season, but we've seen that upside with him in the past, and if he can get some strikeouts today and a win, a quality start, looking at a guy that can get you 40 points rather easily. Then at first base, one with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., $3,900. He's averaging over 11 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the St. Louis Cardinals and Adam Wainwright today. He's got no history in his career versus Adam Wainwright, but Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is hitting the ball extremely well, and I don't expect that to stop today. Then at second base, we have Brandon Lowe, $3,000, averaging just over 9.5 fantasy points per game on the season. Obviously came off the IL prior to the All-Star break, been hitting the ball extremely well. He has a hit in every single game he started since he's returned from the IL. Don't expect that to change once again today when he's going against Tyler Wells, who he's 2 for 4 against with 1 home run in his career, so definitely offers a ton of upside today. Then we move down to third base with Matt Chapman at $3,300, averaging just under 10 fantasy points per game on the season. Also goes against Adam Wainwright of the St. Louis Cardinals today. He's 2 for 7 with 1 home run versus him in his career. A little bit upside there, but Matt Chapman also has a multi-hit game in 4 out of his last 5 games. So he's on a hot streak right now. And honestly, you could argue that $3,300 is too cheap of a price tag for what he's been producing as of late. Then last but not least, we're going Mark Canha, $2,300. A guy that typically looks pretty good, has pretty good history versus a lot of pitchers. Doesn't end up in my core picks very often, but $2,300 is a very reasonable price tag for him, averaging just under 8.5 fantasy points per game on the season. He goes against the New York Yankees as Domingo Germán pitching today for them. Not the greatest pitcher in the world at this point in time. Had a rough first start since he came back. This is his second start back, obviously. Mark Canha is 6 for 9 with 1 home run versus him in his career, so definitely offers a ton of upside for a cheap paydown price as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you'll have $14,700 remaining, just under $3,700 per player, so definitely some opportunities to pay up, whether you would like to do that at the pitcher position and not go with Nathan Eovaldi, or if you want to pay up at a different position, definitely a ton of opportunities to do that once again today. But with that being said, we're going to get over to my core picks. As I mentioned already, my article is not yet published, but once that is available, I'll leave a link to that down in the comments below. So the core picks that I do have for today, I have the Toronto Blue Jays going against Adam Wainwright. Very little history versus Adam Wainwright, but this feels like a matchup the Blue Jays should be able to take advantage of. A lot of their hitters have been hitting the ball very well as of late, and I do not expect that to change once again today. Then we have the New York Mets going against Domingo Germán of the New York Yankees. Mentioned it was his second start back. First start back did not go quite so well. Honestly, he's not been that great of a pitcher throughout his career. He had one good year, and besides that, not too great, so I do expect this Mets team to hit him pretty hard today. And then initially I did have the Yankees when I thought they were going against David Peterson, going against Max Scherzer. Probably not going to want to go there, but if you still want to get some Aaron Judge exposure or something like that, since he's been crushing the ball lately, you could definitely go there. But in terms of the last stack that I do have for today, it's going to be the Baltimore Orioles going against the Rays and Drew Rasmussen. They have pretty decent history versus him. Some of these hitters have hit him pretty well. If you want to look on the opposite side of that game with the Rays going against Tyler Wells, you could also go there as well. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, July 27th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, or whether it's a completely different player you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, mainly MLB DFS at this point in time. But once we get back around to the NFL and NBA regular seasons, I'll be covering those two sports as well. And then with that being said, if you're a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.